wanted the smoke, so let's bring the fire. It's friends, foes, and all the hoes. This is Matches of Mayhem. We are your ride or die hosts. I don't know. There's no hoes. We are your ride or die hosts, not hoes. We got Ashley, the ride or die homie mercenary of Mayhem. And we got Rodney, the Hialeah mercenary for hired. And you got me, the double agent. The Matches of Mayhem. Let's get started. All Stars 5. But before we get into it, please hit subscribe. We're talking about challenge all season long. We're talking about the traders and then some other surprises to come. We'll see. So, All Stars 5. I want to start with this. Do we have an official, I say villain in the fun way, not personally, but do we have the official villain of the season? Because Amber, I want to give you guys a couple of quotes that Amber gave out this episode. First is in the flashback, they said she's like, Fessy is the biggest snake in the house. And then later on in the episode, she said Nicole is super messy. And then she went around and lied to Jonna about going into elimination. So what are your thoughts on Amber?
Pissed off at her behavior. I'm pissed off. She's on my team, so I'm already mad. She's about to get cut, but she can't. No, honestly, she's so wrong. She's dead wrong. And I'm glad you brought this up because I was thinking it earlier. And I'm like, she's giving me very Michelle vibes where she gets super paranoid about everything and everyone. And she's worried about who's saying what and who might be betraying her. And it's going to affect her game. And I already see it going down that route. And I'm very pissed off about it. I'm like, I want her to last long. Her and Fessy are a great team. They're going to be like brains and brawn, or really not really a lot of brains, but more like brawn. But I really want to see them go far. So I'm disappointed that she's acting like paranoid and being like a freak about this.
Well, I mean, Rod, do you think it's good for their game? Or, they won. I guess in her head, she selected a team that they knew was going to go home, so the blowback's not there. They threw a bone to Steve and Adam, say, here's a layup. Was it a good move, or I don't know? What do you think?
Man, we might have a criminal mastermind on our hands, right? Where's Smithers when you need him? Because that was some diabolical moves right there. When they cut to that scene about her talking to Jonna, like, yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it. She was down in the sand and they're all sitting there. Jaws dropped, bug-eyed. Even Big T was shocked, right? I was like, whoa. That was a killer move. But I think that she just has been able to get over on that because people just don't seem to mesh well with her, I guess, right? Like, she doesn't really have too many key relationships in the game. She won that first season, then came back in a relationship, right? Didn't really expand anywhere there. Now she's back for another go-round, and, you got OGs mixed in there, and so you got to get to know everyone. And, that was kind of like a bold first move, but it was good. And you know what? The show needed it, especially after, everything we watched. So
I want to throw a comparison out there for you guys because you have Amber moving shady, and you got Frank moving shady. But me personally, I much more prefer Frank's movements, even if they're shady, than Amber's. Do you guys agree, or am I off on that?
100% agree. You'd rather be like, kind of like, okay, I'm a little bit of starting it, but she's all the way in it. She's the moderator of it. She's like, hey, like, this is happening. You did this, you did that. And she's getting way too involved. It's like, yo, chill. Like, you don't need to be involved in everybody's drama. Like, remember, you're here for your kid. Actually, don't say that too much, but remember. But yeah, I agree. I'd rather have Frank than Amber.
Right, you agree there?
No, I disagree. I think Amber's play was actually pretty good because, one, it actually got Adam and Steve what they wanted, right? Not exactly what they wanted, but it was what they wanted, which was somebody that they was going to beat and come back, because they knew at the point where everyone had said their name, look, we're going to fight and we're coming back. So, hey, I'll take whoever at this point, right? But as long as it's somebody I know I can beat and I come back in the house, and then we can go from there. At least I'm still in the game, right? And so her going, Veronica, her confidant, right? And then doing that, making that move, who then passed the nod on, maybe that keeps her clean for a little bit, right? I mean, I don't know if Veronica's going to snitch on her, but from now, everybody thinks it's Nicole's fault, right? Even though she had nothing to do with it. So,
Well,
I mean, that was like...
Two things there. One is Amber smart enough to know if I tell Veronica, everybody's going to find out because Veronica ain't keeping no secrets? And two, who snitched on Nicole saying that she's the one who said it? Because I believe her. I don't think she did go and run and tell. So was it Veronica who told on her, or was it Amber who spread that lie?
Amber is assuming. She's like, I'm not dumb. Like, bitch, you are dumb because she didn't say that. You're just assuming. I'm putting two and two together. Like, yes, it seems like that could be the case, obviously, but she also thinks that Veronica's her ally, and that's a one-sided way. Like, Veronica's not feeling the same way about you, so it was definitely Amber who was creating this whole scenario in her head.
It just worked so perfectly, and that's the only reason why I just can't let it go right now. I know it's going to come back to bite her. I'm just having wishful thinking, really. But, it was just, everything just worked out so perfect. And it's very rare that you see that, where somebody gets away with a move like that, where someone actually ends up going home, and then it's like the person who did it, they're technically still in the clear right now until we see what happens next week.
You know why I'm also ultimately disappointed is because Fessy and Amber are my first pick, and then next was Melissa and Nicole, and like Nicole and Amber beefing, like that's not good for me. That's not good for me.
Yeah.
So this episode I was like, fuck. But hey.
Here's the thing. I think the comparison of Amber and Michelle is perfect. The reason I like Frank is, even though he's acting just as shady, and he got Steve and Adam voted in as the house vote, was because he owns it. He owns his shadiness, and he even says, man, if we're not going to win the physical game, I got to make moves in the house to protect me and Sam. Amber's not owning any of her shadiness. And the problem as a viewer, like, if you're trying to save face for us, don't.
Right.
Like, we like when
hard.
people are making game moves. But when you try to save face, it's like, are you trying to make me feel stupid? Because I know what you're doing. Like, when Michelle's crying because she's sending everybody in, I'm like, bro, we see what you're doing. Like, you're trying to keep yourself in the game. There's no shame in that. But if you make me try to, like, make me look stupid, I see what you're doing. Like, so Amber, own your shadiness like Frank. That'll only make it so much better, because either you lucked into the situation this week or you masterminded it. I don't know. Either way, I'd like it a lot more if you just told me the truth. Just be honest. You're shady. Yeah. Own your shade.
She doesn't want that villain that title, and you could tell, like she's willing to do the dirt, but she won't take it
until you start winning. Until you start winning, and then it's like, yo, Jordan was a dick, and then he started winning. Now everybody's on his dick. Johnny Bananas was the biggest villain. He stole the money, and now everybody's on him all the way to Mar-a-Lago. It's okay because he wins. So, like, if you start winning, if you win your second challenge, it's just like, hey, we're not gonna knock your moves. They're working. That's the point of the game. So, let's pull it together, Amber. I wanted to go over to Frank and his move of trying to get Adam and Steve voted in. Obviously, they're a strong team. They won the first challenge. My only question is, did he shoot his bullet a little too early at another strong team? I mean, at a strong team, because he's not Frank and Sam, unfortunately, not the stronger team in the house.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like, when I was thinking about it, and even when Victor drafted Adam and Steve, I was thinking, like, they do have the least amount of connections. Everybody been here. They've been here for so long. They have probably like 3 people on their side. So I see them like being targeted and like people not feeling so bad about it, versus like me voting Anissa. Meanwhile, I have a lot of history with her or things like that. So he wasn't wrong in that, but I don't think he shot it too early. Like, what is he supposed to do? They won, and they're gonna be a really good team. If they start to get along or work together. But they have to hit this heavy hitter. Like, they have to do something to get them out. So I don't know. I think it's good. Although I don't know. Now I'm thinking about it. Adam is gonna fucking get him back.
See, Rod, what'd you think about Frank's episode so far?
Well, it's a misfire, but it could still work only because so many people were already starting to think the same thing. You know, we saw how Devin alluded to that right off the jump. He's like, you know, we flew under the radar by coming in second to the better team, right? So that
Yeah, I totally agree.
them, right. They're trying to, but you know, that keeps them protected, so to speak. And if they don't have any connections, then there's no real skin off anybody's back by picking them, you know. And at some point, it's just like Nicole said, right? If you go in the beginning, you're probably going to keep going in. And so if they just keep targeting them, at some point somebody's going to get something that they can either win or something's going to happen and they just lose. I don't know. But I think it was a good idea.
It's a good point that is like, if they don't have any connections, they're not going to be able to rally votes. So unless you're prepared to go down into the sand, you know, like get voted in and then call out Frank and Sam to go against you, you're not going to get them, you know. I don't think you're going to get anybody else to do your dirty work. I really like how Frank did it, where he was just like, no one's talking about it, but we have to kind of agree on the House vote. So it's not like he's targeting. He's just trying to do what the game makes you do. It's like he has a good way of rallying votes. And the fact that he's a little more calm, cool, and collected now than he used to be, it's kind of dangerous. And I like dangerous. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a lot of politics because it's not a lot of strength.
Nah, not going to be a lot of action. It's going to be more on paper, right?
But you know,
or word of mouth.
That's something that's been talked about a little bit. Where did the challenge fuck up by doing like a couple of guy teams, a bunch of girl teams, and then a couple of like a bunch of mixed teams, where you set up more people to be successful? I'm hoping that the challenge like was smart enough to say, well, we're not going to make every single challenge or elimination like strength based. Some will be speed, some will be puzzles, some will be just weird, funny shit that, like, you know, who knows who'll be good at it. I hope they're smart enough to do that. I mean, this week's challenge wasn't really about being the strongest. Like, you just had to have some nuts and get out there and get the flags.
I don't know. I kind of disagree on that one, man. That last black flag at the bottom was very, very low. I mean, if you just watch Fessy holding Amber on that was, and even the week before that, right, when he was picking her up when they were piling all the mud on each other and stuff. Like, I mean, they have a good weight ratio with the two of them. It's like almost 2-to-1, right? You know, and so in those kind of events, they're definitely going to excel. Like even Sylvia, right? She's like, it's almost like this event was made for the two of them. You know, because Amber is long and lanky, and then, you know, she could just lean down. But it's like, you know, that's not happening with, you know, Anissa and Ashley or Katie and Veronica or even Shane.
You could have jumped for the last flag like Adam and Steve did.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if they would have just committed to the rest, you just jump and call it a day. But.
Let's get to it. Edge of Glory. That was our challenge. You had to do some math. And then you had to hold somebody out over the edge of a building to get the flags. Yo, can they learn their lesson? Stop doing math. I don't care. I don't want to see people doing math. Like, I don't want to see it. Stop.
Yeah.
But the flag thing was fun and interesting. If any of these fucking teams would have, like, grown a pair and done it. And I'm not saying it's not scary. I'm just saying... do it. You're on the challenge. Do it. I can't believe I agree with Nicole. I've never agreed with her on anything. This week she said, who comes to the challenge not to do anything?
Yeah. I mean, even the elevator ride up, right? Everybody was just so defeated already. I'd never seen that before, you know? And, I mean, all of them have been on multiple seasons, right? So they've gone up on buildings plenty of times. They know the equipment that they're getting strapped to and harnessed. I mean, it's protected. We were told that every production always tests every challenge they do, you know, personally to make sure that it can be completed. And I don't know, it's like they didn't even have faith in the production that, like, they're putting them in a situation that they're protected in. Like, they wouldn't even go out there and try.
Well, I don't think it was that the faith. I mean, partially, yes, a lot of them were scared. Correct. That's true. But even Anissa talking to Ashley and TJ, like she's telling TJ like we're in a good place right now. We don't have to do this challenge. Like we have a lot of protection, and that's the shit that pisses me off. Is like I don't care if you're protected. Do the damn challenge. Like this is what we're here to watch.
Yeah, she shouldn't have said that. That ruined it for me too.
Yeah.
Anissa and Ashley, Beth and Jonna, Sylvia and Kellyanne, Frank and Sam, Dario and Ashley K. I think they timed out on the math. They couldn't even do fucking that. But
Right.
and Corey and Big T. Not to mention Melissa and Nicole, Devroy and Turbo and Nani didn't even get to go, but they didn't seem like in a rush to do it. Like, come on, guys. This was a fucking miss.
Right. I mean, just think how much more they had to shuffle in the editing just to fill the episode, right? Because we had basically 4 people out there competing, and then the rest was just everybody crying or, get it together.
Did you guys hear TJ when he was like, this is more like Fall Stars. You guys should be called Fall Stars. Like, yeah, no one's even attempting this. I was dying. I was like,
He cursed.
He cursed him out. He walked away and was like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I'm tight. Like, I know he was disappointed, and I don't want to disappoint him. Like, come on.
There's one thing where you waste like 20 minutes of our time because that part of the episode sucks. He was there all day. He was watching them each get strapped up. Probably takes like half an hour each just for them to be like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. And he's like, you fucking son of a bitch.
Yeah, right. We've seen challenges where it's turned from day to night, so it takes a lot of time and effort for them to get each run set up like that, man. And then they're just not going to do it.
And they get to wait inside. He was out there on the platform. He didn't give no shits. He's like, yo, I'm chilling out here. They all got to wait inside to watch. It's like,
yeah. No, when she said that, I was like, okay, you're in a good position. And I'm like, I didn't like that at all. Because I was like, damn, man. Like, now I know, like, people are going to be like, oh, I don't have to play this challenge. Like, no one's going to vote us in. And I don't like when people coast.
Yeah, well, you know what? That might come back to bite them later because, that was the same thing that happened that brought the Red Skulls, right? People weren't going in.
The people that DQ'd, like, I thought, who do you guys think would have actually done well in this challenge if they actually went out to the flags and did it? Like, I was thinking Corey and Big T, like, they would have been great.
They would have done
Corey's
great.
super strong. Who else would have been good?
I'm sure Dario and Ashley, well, I'm not 100% counting that because it looks like they timed out on math, but
yeah,
they should have done
they
better.
They would have made it to the actual physical part.
Mm-hmm. Anissa and Ashley should have been fine. They had a decent enough weight distribution. Right. Frank and Sam, I don't know.
Maybe Nicole and Melissa. Maybe.
Yeah, I think Nicole's strong enough to.
She's a firefighter.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I think she would have been good.
It wasn't, and we expect this for All Stars. We're not looking at super marathons to our runner. We're not looking for marathon runners here like Rodney. We're like, this is All Stars, but this wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
Right.
This is not flagship, and they still couldn't do it. And it's a little concerning. Again, I'm happy to see these people. That's the point of All Stars. I still don't want to see duds. Still want some competitiveness. It's a little alarming that this easier challenge, they shit the bed.
Yeah. I liked how Katie and Veronica, when they went, Katie was like, come on, TJ. You knew it wasn't going to happen.
You know what it is.
I mean, and it's just like, all of the challenges they come up with, I know that's a good one because it always looks good to, I guess, feature the city they're in. So they, like to use the landscape and stuff like that. But, maybe they could just find something else to do that we're sure that everybody's going to at least participate in. So at least we get a good show. You know what I mean? Like, I know they love to push the envelope and do adrenaline, but, people are having midlife crisis on these shows, man. And it's just, we're the ones who suffer, right? Because we don't get any of the prize money.
We're paying to watch this.
Right.
But, if no one got me, I know TJ got me. So I know he's going to talk to them and be like, yo, guys, do better if you're going to run my final. All right. So that was the challenge. And then we get to the house and all the shenanigans. We kind of covered it between Amber, Nicole, Frank, there's starting things around the house. Is there anything else that happened in there? Yeah, so essentially the house kind of rallies around Adam and Steve. And then, like, they started talking about who they might potentially go in against. And we're thinking it could be Frank and Sam and Dario and Ashley K, who I wouldn't have mind to see Dario and Ashley K, especially in the elimination that we saw later that episode, because I think they could have been good at that one. They're a little smaller, maybe a little bit faster. They're younger, so maybe a little quicker. I think that would have been a good match. If it was Frank and Sam in that one.
Yeah. No, it's just not happening.
It's not happening.
Even the whole time we're led to believe that it's going to be Melissa and Nicole. So I was thinking, okay, what if Melissa and Nicole actually did go in there? You know, I was telling Rodney, well, they're really small. Yeah, they probably would have been neck and neck in my eyes. I don't know if they could have pulled it out, but that was probably the deciding factor. They saw the challenge. They were like, okay, maybe the girls could be good at this. Let's go ahead and put in Jonna and Beth.
But do you really believe Amber when she's like, it was 2 teams and we ended up going with them at the last minute? Did you believe that? I was like, who's the other team?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm trying.
The way the editing made it seem, it was Melissa and Nicole. It was, I mean, they were talking about it. Fessy was like, I don't care. I could do Melissa and Nicole, you know, and then she was like, the whole episode of, you know, the filler episode of that was like her beef with with Nicole, and Melissa crying because Nicole got in trouble for talking. Meanwhile, she didn't even say anything.
She didn't even say anything.
Exactly.
Right. And she doesn't even believe her partner because Nicole do be talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I did think it was down to 2 teams. I agree though. I believe like maybe Dario and Ashley probably would have. So actually, let me ask you guys this. If they would have put Dario and Ashley in, does that mean that the star, Adam and Steve, could give their star to someone else if they won?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If they win, they give their star to somebody else. And I think the thinking there is, I really don't know why Adam would have called out Dario and Ashley K, but I think the idea is they give that star to Fessy and Amber if they give them who they want.
Right, that was the payback. Yeah.
But I guess Fessy was like ultimately like, hey, if they lose, I mean, if Dario actually ends up winning, then that star is definitely not going to me. So, yeah, I guess it was a smart gameplay.
He said in the beginning, which I was like, really? He said, and we keep saying Fessy, but I'm going to respect him, say Fessel.
Fessel, all right.
My guy Fessel said, I'm going to let Amber take the lead on the vote. I was like, because he said that's where they beefed in the past, where he kind of takes charge. I'm like, dumb idea, my guy. So I wonder if they ended up thinking, let's just throw in on a layup and, you know, get another strong team in our corner. It's just messed up that they blindsided. Or maybe not. If they own it, it's like, yeah, we wanted to give them no advantage. We didn't want to tell them. It is what it is. Whoever we voted in, we wanted to go home because we don't want to get the blowback. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I think it worked too. You know, especially after the first week, right? Like, you don't want to be the one to strike first, because then you got the rest of the season to try to watch it back or make amends. And, you know, if he's dealing with Amber, like, she's kind of a loose cannon, right? We don't know which way she's going. So
she's power tripping.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Although, you know who else was on a little bit of a, maybe not a power trip, but, you know, feeling herself a lot? Did you know Jonna's a 2-time champ? Because they only mentioned it, I think, only like 8 times in the episode. Did you guys notice that? Like, were they trying to build her up to make us think like they actually had a chance in that elimination? Because
absolutely,
you're not fooling.
I mean, she said she could do anything, right?
Yeah. And I'm torn because I actually do root for Jonna, but did anybody really want Beth to stick around? She didn't do the challenge. She's crying or starting shit. She's terrible gameplay. Like, she was about to vote Melissa and in the vote in the house, she was about to say Melissa and Nicole when Johnny's like, shut up. No, we're going with everybody else. Like,
right after Nicole stood up for you and you was up in the rooftop crying. Yeah, just throw Nicole in. What? Yeah. What are you talking about?
Any parting words for Jonna and Beth?
They wouldn't have lasted anyway. They wouldn't have lasted.
It's a good reset. Take the time off. Heal mentally. You don't have to be friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jonna's been a little off between season 40. You know, in the reunion, she says she's dealing with shit, and then she comes back to this, still dealing with shit. So yeah. And to Beth, good riddance. I hope you enjoy your paycheck. All right.
And your 30-year-old jeans. See you later.
Good jeans do last, but those didn't look like that good of a jeans.
What about Kellyanne and Sylvia?
Let's jump into that.
Oh, yes.
Because we ended this episode with fireworks. Let's get into that. What do you... All right, you guys say something because I'm about to shit on one of these two, and it's not Kellyanne.
Yeah, well, we already know.
All right, so
yeah,
while they're actually doing the challenge, right? We see Kellyanne and Sylvia start up this little beef. So Kellyanne really wants to do this challenge, and Sylvia is super terrified and is like already giving her pushback, like, no, I don't want to do it. And Kellyanne's like, bro, what the fuck? I have shit to do. Like, if you don't want to do these things, I could go home and I don't have to be here. And Sylvia's like already pissed about that. Then afterwards, she comes at her and she's like, you know, the way you talk to me is condescending. And then they start beefing. I mean, who's in the wrong here? Is it Kellyanne or is it Sylvia?
Well, look, you already.
I just want to point one thing out from the challenge, and I'll let you cook, Rod. After they fail the challenge, Sylvia said, "I tried, but it wasn't good enough for little princess over here."
The princess.
And
comment.
I'm like,
That's
who's the princess?
The princess comment. Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Rod.
The princess comment. No, I mean, look, that was pretty much it, right? I mean, she really shouldn't have even gone there, right? And then like, when you're justifying it, it's like, I got a family at home, you raise dogs. And she knew she was trying to dig deep there, right? Because Kellyanne was like, yeah, you know, she tried to hurt me with that comment there. And then, you know, it did anyway,
feels
right?
Good about herself.
They were, right. They were both there bawling, you know, and then I'm just like, man, there goes my mayhem points. But, you know, even so, yeah, it was just a little bit uncalled for. Like, look, just own up. If you can't do it, fine. But there's no need to look for any justification as to why I'm better deserving or more deserving to be here than you are, even though you didn't want to compete on one of the challenges. You know TJ hates that. You know it's not good for the show. And again, like, what are you doing here, right?
How about you? What do you think, Eric?
Sylvia is an insufferable sack of potatoes on this challenge. Get her out of here, bro. Get her the fuck out. The irony for her to tell Kellyanne, you're kind of condescending. And Kellyanne's be like, and she's like, nobody tells you to your face. I got better, you know, I got kids. You just got dogs. But you're calling Kellyanne condescending. It's just like, you got no self-awareness about the shit. You shit the bed. You sucked. You sucked at that challenge. You haven't done anything in this game. And yet you want to talk shit constantly about Kellyanne. Like, you're a lost cause. Kellyanne should, like, if it wasn't for TJ calling her a quitter, if I was Kellyanne, I would quit. I'd be like, ain't no way I'm winning this girl any money. And I'm not even talking about the final prize. Keeping her on the show and letting her get a check from the challenge, fuck out of here. That would be my real life enemy. There's some people in here who are like, they're not really that bad. Turbo and Nani are already fucking playing jungle gym together.
Frenemies and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You seen that.
100% and on Kellyanne's side.
Yeah, nah, me too.
Listen,
they would never.
Was Kellyanne talking shit on the bridge when she's like, if you're not going to do the challenge, let's just fucking go home? Yes, she was talking shit. Guess what? You sucked that day. You know, you like, if I'm Karl Anthony Towns and I don't grab a fucking rebound and Jalen Brunson carried the basketball team and he tells me I suck, guess what? I didn't get a rebound today. He's got the right to say that. Kellyanne was trying to do the challenge. I just want basketball. That's how pissed I am right now.
I was gonna say, and now let's explain it in girl terms. Beyonce.
If I'm out here shaking my ass, getting us free drinks from all the dudes in the club, and then you're gonna get pissed off and say this guy, he didn't buy us Clase Azul. I'm like, bitch, why don't you go get your BBL and get us some free drinks, man?
Yep.
I've been grinding up against this old ass fucking finance dude just to get us free shots, and you're like, I don't do Casamigos. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
That part.
Right.
And then this bitch is gonna call me condescending.
Yeah.
Right. And she was still even willing to sit down with her and have a conversation after that. And they still couldn't get anywhere.
No. Sylvia is on a high horse and she thinks she's a shit. And she's about to realize, like, she ain't shit. So, nah, that was bullshit, honestly.
That team, honestly, man, I don't know. It irks me to watch, and I can only imagine how it irks Kellyanne to, like, have to team up with her on anything. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm only disappointed because I didn't realize there was real hatred there, you know. I know a lot of them, they have beef for personal reasons, you know, situational, but you can get over it when, you know, we got 300 grand on the line, right? Okay, I can set aside our differences for a couple weeks, whatever, you know. But, I mean, damn. We're on week 2, right? Going at each other like that?
Night
There's
2.
No way.
Night
2. Well,
they
week
haven't
2
even
for
done
us, but,
they haven't even done their laundry yet. Like, and
You're right.
and the whole thing about that too is it stems from a place of bullying. The reason they beef is because Sylvia and the loser Lavenders were bullying Kellyanne, and like it's not even a rivalry. Kellyanne didn't do anything to them other than like get abused. So like,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's the last blow up between these two.
No, MTV was missing a couple disclaimers there, right? A couple triggering scenes.
Yeah.
If you are triggered, or yeah.
If you were someone you know.
Are triggered by sack
Exactly.
of potatoes.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So, should we get into points?
Yeah.
A second.
I'm already in tears about this.
Let's get into our standings for our All-Stars 5 Fantasy League. And as you can see, it's a rough start. Now I'm open to redoing these points, but I want to throw something out there to you guys. If a team DQ'd, I took away a point. Now, usually if you don't go into elimination and you don't win, you get a safety 1 point. I just didn't feel good as I was doing the scores. I'm like, I'm not giving Anissa and Ashley or Sylvia and Kellyanne or Frank and Sam a point. They didn't try. So thus we got a lot of -1s off the rip. There was some winners this episode, so obviously if you're in a plus, you had it's because you had a winner, Ash. Despite all the the shadiness,
drama, right?
Fessy and Amber came
And
through.
the crying.
Right.
Okay.
Beef against both teams.
And Victor had like a really weird week because here's the other thing I did. They didn't really give us a first, second, third, but I could like Adam and Steve definitely got second because they actually finished, and Shane and Davon what do we call him? Deshane.
The shit.
Shame.
Deshane actually got one flag, so I just gave him a
Third
third.
place.
Like they deserved it. That's a
valid.
sneaky, decent team. I like them, and they had.
Yeah.
When Davon was just like, yo, I'm an acting coach, so I'm going to act like I know what I'm doing here. But
She was like pretending she was doing math.
Yeah.
Having week. She was like, I'm just going to act. I was dead.
yo, Davon is goated. So, but aside from that, we had the Kellyanne and Sylvia fight, like you said, Rod. You got points and then you lost it because they started
Yeah,
crying.
blew me up.
Sylvia's mentioning her kids. Amber's mentioning her kids. There's a bunch of crying this episode. Like on top of Jonna and Beth going home, Beth was crying the whole fucking episode. Yeah, it's a rough start for all of us. Now, this is not going to be as high scoring as Challenge 40 because
Definitely not.
there was like a lot of teams, a lot of players. But damn, to be -7 to start the season for Nora.
No, Nora, man. I feel bad, man. This is like 40 all over again, right?
Yeah, and
I was going to say.
Gotta dig yourself out.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks because Nani and Turbo didn't even get to go for the challenge, so you got to think they would have done all right.
So
thing
wait,
is-
let me ask here. So Nani, Devroy, and Melissa and Nicole, they had the option to say yes, let's compete tomorrow, but they all chose to say no. Is that considered a DQ?
I didn't DQ them, but I didn't give them the 1 point safety either. I was harsh. I was like, if TJ's mad, I'm mad. I didn't give him the
Right.
1 point safety because you didn't actually get to do it. But I didn't take away the point because I also think it's sort of like an advantage that's on the challenge. Like the challenge should have just been like, fuck that, you guys are coming back tomorrow and doing it. But they didn't.
Right.
They gave him the option, so
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
And like I don't think Leroy and Devin would have not done it. I think they were thinking of the options like, and Nani said this too, is like, we can just play the game in the house. Let's not do well and put another target on us. We already have stars.
Right.
So I don't hit him as hard as the people who just didn't try.
Right.
Okay. That's valid.
Yeah. And it makes sense simply for the fact that they have stars already. I mean, it's not like they're not competing. You know, I mean, we don't know about Melissa Nicole, but at least with them two, right? It doesn't affect as bad because you see TJ didn't even really have any type of pushback towards their decision on that.
Yeah. And I feel like he's like, I don't want to come back up here either. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the score this week. Like I said, we're off to a slow start, but that's not our fault. These guys, they gotta get it going. So any thoughts? Go ahead.
Real quick before you move forward, just now that Beth and Jonna's gone, so now we get replaced, right?
Yeah, good point. So we did put that out there that whoever lost the first team would get gifted Veronica and Katie, if you can call that a gift.
Right. I mean, it might be given these circumstances, right?
Yeah, you don't know. They can make it maybe they start racking up safety points because they don't get targeted. So, and Frank said it this episode, you kind of want some layups around to run a final against, so you can keep them sitting pretty.
Agree.
So Nora, congratulations, you get a replacement team. Because next week somebody's losing a team and that's it. Like they're gonna be running one squad.
One.
So we got 2 episodes. We kind of know the vibes. What do you guys think we're gonna see coming up next?
We do not do spoilers in this house, so we cut it off as soon as any preview comes on. But I don't know. I know that we're gonna see a lot of mayhem because these teams are just not getting it together. With the way they left off with Kellyanne and Sylvia, I know that's going to still be in effect. And I think Frank might be held accountable somehow. But we'll see.
And they're not partying either, right? Did you guys notice that, or did I miss something,
Well, they
right?
were playing, like, beer pong in the beginning.
Yeah, but they didn't go out. There was no, like, no club night or, how the challenge usually does. They go for the night out and everybody has a drink or two. Even if it's just to get out and just unwind for a few minutes, like, I think that kind of helps because everyone just seems really stressed right now.
Yeah, I hope they do give them a little bit of a chance to get out. The only fashion that we saw this episode was Beth's jeans. Let them get into some regular clothes. Let them go out.
Yeah, right.
One thing that I want they're not even my team, but come on, Dario, Ashley K, can we get something going on there maybe? I want to see what outfits Veronica brought. That's just me. Don't judge. It's a shame John A went because it's just a shame. But listen, let's get the people out in nice clothes, drinking, because that's also where we get the mayhem, and we get the madness.
Right.
So
it's gonna build some of the storyline too, right?
Yeah.
We're all waiting for that pussy chicken moment, right?
Somebody's gonna activate Turbo. Who's it gonna be?
Right. Telling you.
Yep.
If I had to guess, it would be Frank, but I wonder who. Somebody's going to
same
activate Turbo.
It's to be him. I mean, everyone else is going to respect him. Maybe Shane.
I was going to say, like, Shane, But Shane is sneaky. That's Davon and Shane. I have my eye on them. I should have drafted them. I don't know why I went for Ashley and Anissa. They're sneaky. They're going to start some shit. They're going to do... They're just the funniest people on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy about Davon. I'm happy she's there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's episode 2. Let's see what's coming up. I'll leave everyone a question out there. Who are you riding for? Sylvia Sachs or Kellyanne, the dog queen? Bye.